Shove it, man!
Did Rocky Maivia actually blow as hard as we've all been told? I've not seen much evidence. It's easy to say he sucked and then became The Rock and everything was great. But is that actually true? Did the fans really chant, "Die, Rocky, die"? Was it obvious from this run that he would go on to become a megastar? The best way to find out is for Rocky Maivia to challenge on Ring of the Hawk Season 5, the show where we watch back a wrestler's short run with a company, and at the end we shove them a final grade to see if they can do the JOB to the HAWK. And of course, if you know a wrestler who can do the JOB to the HAWK,
shove their name down in the comments, Jack!
Alright, for those of you with amnesia, did he suck Rocky Maivia? Match 1, Survivor Series 1996, 8-man elimination tag. Crush, Jerry Lawler, Goldust and Triple H versus Mark Mero, the Stalker who looks like Spike Dudley except a predator, and he's not small. And here he is, Rocky Maivia. Well, apart from looking like a massive goofball, he isn't really doing anything wrong. The final partner is Jake the Snake Roberts. Rocky finally joins this match with the King. King quickly barges him down with Rocky kipping back up. Rocky is dancing and hopping everywhere and he hits a nice dropkick. The King can't keep up as he dumps his nappy of anger and tags Triple H. The game does much better and hits a suplex and now Goldust is in. Goldust drops him on the ropes and tags Crush. Jim Ross is obsessed with praising this Rocky kid. Crush crushes him with a backbreaker and he also hits a slam as Lawler comes in with a fist drop. Rocky, with hair that looks floppy, comes back against Triple H and hits a back body drop and tags the Snake. The Rock is now gone forever. The field narrows down and only Rocky is left alone in his team in a 2-on-1 situation. The building is behind Rocky and he has a decent flow of offense, but everything he does just looks a bit goofy. He hits a crossbody on Crush for a nothing count. Goldust smacks him in the nutsack and tries to hold him steady to take a heart punch from Crush, but this backfires. Rocky hits another crossbody on Crush and this one is somehow free. Crush is gone. Moments later, Rocky beats Goldust 2 with a shoulder breaker. It's over. What a debut. 2 eliminations on pay-per-view and being the sole survivor of your team. It was pretty much a match dedicated to making him look good. It was a great debut, but I can't stop thinking how goofy he looked for much of it. It's a B. Match 2, Raw. Salvatore Sincere versus Rocky Maivia. They just can't stop talking up this guy. The legends are all over him. Salvatore backs Rocky into the corner and kisses him. The Rock dumps in his blue nappy of anger. Just like the last match, Rocky does a couple of leapfrogs into a dropkick. Rocky fails on a go behind and throws himself out of the ring like a moron. Salvatore dropkicks him through the ropes. Rocky manages to yank on the ropes to knock Salvatore out of the ring whilst commentary make fun of Rock's haircut. Back in the ring, Salvatore with a nice standing switch into a side slam. Sincere misses his next move and crashes into the pole, and the Rock slams him. Rocky does a weird taunt. It was a bit like an air gut punch. The shoulder breaker ends the match. The crowd are pretty silent and look bored. It does feel a bit overly forced talking him up to this level when he hasn't really done anything much. It's a D. Match 3, Raw. I guess it's the big rematch, Salvatore Sincere with Jim Cornette versus Rocky Maivia. Fortunately, Rocky has had a haircut. I thought it was going to be the same as the last match, but we do get a nice standing hip toss switch with Rocky winning. Rocky flies off the top for the first time with a simple smack to the head. Sincere recovers and they do another hip toss trade-off. This time Sincere wins that one, ending with a side slam. Salvatore gets a 2 off a clothesline as Vince McMahon starts talking up the Rock's winning streak. Come on, Vince, he's won 2 matches. Sal gets another 2 off a Russian leg sweep. After a long period of nothing, Rocky turns Sincere inside out of a clothesline. We also get a float over DDT, which is some Rocky offense you'll be more familiar with. Rocky wins with the shoulder breaker again. It was alright, it's a C. Match 4, Raw. Rocky Maivia versus the British Bulldog. The crowd are dead for this one. The Rock's early offense causes Davey to dump in his nappy of anger and leave the ring. He returns, but not much is happening still. Bulldog sends Rocky out the ring and throws him into the steps. Rocky comes back in with a sunset flip for a 2. The Bulldog quickly shuts him down. Rocky responds with a crossbody but can't do anything because he's hit with a delayed vertical suplex. Punches are traded. It's so funny when The Rock impersonates Rocky Johnson, it looks so forced. Once again, for the 3rd time in this match, it spills out of the ring. Bulldog sends Rocky into a fence before the Bulldog is attacked from behind by the Rattlesnake. That causes the Bulldog to get counted out the match. Cheap victory, boring match, and the crowd was silent. It's an S. Bitch. Match 5, Royal Rumble 1997. Rocky enters half an hour into this match and straight away fires off on the Rattlesnake of his wacky punches. Fake Diesel can get it too. Rock desperately tries to eliminate Austin but can't manage it. He turns his attention back to the fake Diesel but fails to eliminate him too. Rocky now works with Mankind for a bit. Let me know if you want me to cover the Rock and Sock connection. I think it says so much for how desperate they were for Rocky to succeed when you see the names that he's in there with. The top names of the company. Anyway, he survives for a long time without really doing much. He tries to dive on Mankind, who catches him and mandible claws him out of the ring. A decent spot for the rookie, but I'm not really sure he left that much of an impression. It's a D. Match 6, Raw, IC title match. The challenger is Rocky. Okay, I'm not sure how he's earned a match for the second tier title in the company. The champion is Triple H. It was during this match that I think, and I'm not quite sure, but the crowd were chanting Rocky sucks. I'm not sure, let me know.
Television on Thursday, Raw Thursday, he's got to be a nervous wreck. He'll never make it. You think he's as nervous as Michael Jackson?
The game plays head games in the early going and it's working. Eventually, Triple H runs into a hip toss and a dropkick. He bails from the ring, but comes back only to get drop-kicked out the ring. On the outside, The Rock smashes into the ring pole. And in the ring, Triple H zones in on his arm with a jumping arm breaker, and moments later he does another one. During the break, Triple H nails a net breaker and a suplex. The game drops the knee, but it's just a 2. Rocky tries to get Gurn, but gets a knee to the noggin special. The Rock almost gets a sleeper hold on 2 to a good crowd pop before getting smashed into the turnbuckles. He gets another nice little pop of a diving crossbody, but the pin is turned over by the game. The crowd are coming awake for this match. The game hits another net break to shut them up. Surprisingly, Rocky is able to kick out of a pile driver. The game is incensed by this. He gets Rocky on the top rope and starts slapping him like a cheap whore. The game hits the middle rope suplex for a 2. This crowd are really into this one. The game wants a pedigree now, but The Rock is limp. Triple H is just standing there looking at him like a moron. Of course, The Rock small packages him and that's the 3. Wow, an Intercontinental title win and a rare Ring of the Hawk title win. Rocky cuts a promo and says he can't believe it, but he promises to be the best IC champion. He thanks his ancestors. It's not very good. I'm giving it a B because that promo kind of killed it for me. Match 7, In Your House 13, IC title match. The challenger Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus the champion Rocky Maivia. This one seems to tell a different story from the last match. Rocky is in control from the early going and isn't falling for the mind games. Eventually, Rocky takes a rough looking tumble out of the ring and the game baseball slides him. Triple H also slams him on the outside, so I guess this is the turning point of the matchup. Helmsley hits a diving elbow off the apron. Shame he didn't land on his haircut. Just like the last match, the crowd start waking up and appreciating what they're doing here. They repeat the small package spot from the last match, but this time it's not enough to beat Helmsley. Triple H hits a backbreaker for a 2. Rocky comes back for a running crossbody for a 2. Unfortunately, he misses his dropkick, but the game also misses his knee. The Rock looks stupid now as he cashes a kick but just stands there like a moron and spins the game around and gets clotheslined. The game also looks stupid when his dive goes wrong and he gets a punch to the gut special. The Rock's punches are so different at this stage in his career. The Rock hits a power slam to a mixed reaction. The diving crossbody gets a better reaction, but it's just a 2. Ugly moment now when The Rock tries his float of a DDT and I'm not sure went wrong, but it didn't look great. The game once again shuts him down with a knee and a net breaker as Goldust arrives at ringside. That distracts Triple H as The Rock hits a bridging back suplex and that's the 3. I enjoyed it, but I felt like it was more Triple H being good. Those punches have to go. It's a C. Match 8, Raw, IC title match. The champion Rocky Maivia. Sunny tries to seduce him, he just looks confused. She's almost as obsessed with Rocky as Jim Ross. The challenger is Leif Cassidy, aka Al Snow. Al Snow loses a punching contest and The Rock smacks him out of the ring. Cassidy comes back into the ring but can't really manage much as The Rock nails a running crossbody and some arm drags. The Rock controls his arm for a while now. This is a strange match. The match is so boring that we cut away for a Triple H promo. He threatens The Rock and says he'll take the belt back. Rock finally does something with a roll up but it's just a 2. Snow throws some kicks and a sort of reverse arm drag. Rocky eventually fights off some arm work with a couple of close pinning attempts. Al Snow's style really doesn't work. I can see why this character failed. It's like he's this bland technical wrestler, and Rocky wrestles almost like he's a light heavyweight. Snow hits a diving punch, it's all Snow here. Rocky Maivia eventually wins a nothing match with a shoulder breaker. Very boring, and he urgently needs to find a wrestling style because it all consists right now of goofy punches, roll-ups and the shoulder breaker. It's a D. Match 9, Raw, IC title match. The champion Rocky versus the man they call Vader. Okay, surely Rocky is losing this one. Vader has been main eventing recently. They get in each other's faces. It's good to see a bit of emotion from Rocky, but I'm not sure that the tough guy act is believable. Vader batters him for a while and also hits the shut up or I'll smack you one punch. That'll teach Rocky for being a tough guy. Rocky does manage his standard roll-up before being smacked down again. Moments later, Rocky tries another sunset flip roll-up, but he's too weak and Vader sits on him. Rocky actually suplexes the big man to a great reaction. This really isn't living up to the Rocky sucks narrative. A big back suplex gets another loud cheer. We come back from an advert break to see Vader hitting a second rope splash, and shockingly that isn't the 3 count. Vader tries another second rope dive, which is countered with a power slam, which looked alright. We also have a new move from The Rock with a belly to belly for a 2. The float over DDT connects, which causes Vader to remove his mask. Rocky does a peacock pose and climbs to the top with the crowd loving him. He soaks it all in and Rocky hits a nice crossbody which Vader is able to roll over. Rocky kicks out and hits a dropkick and the big man is out of the ring. On the outside, Mankind suddenly teleports into action. He decks Rocky with an urn. The match is thrown out for DQ. The brawl continues, but it's officially over. Best match so far. He held his own and the contrast in styles worked it. It's a B. The narrative is still wrong. 9 matches in and the crowd loved this guy. What the hell is going on? Match 10, Raw. Rocky Maivia versus Tony Roy, who makes the girls say oi. It's not for the title, because that would just be silly. So he's having a jobber match, 10 matches late. The Iron Sheik is on the ramp screaming at The Rock, along with Bob Backlund the entire match. Rocky isn't distracting, does a float of a DDT followed by the peacock dance and a crossbody for the win. Rocky has jumped straight after, so I guess this is his next feud. It's a D because that crossbody was actually pretty beautiful. Match 11, WrestleMania 13, IC title match. The challenger is the Sultan with Backlund and the Iron Sheik. This is just Rikishi in a wacky gimmick. He faces his cousin, the champion, Rocky Maivia. He enters to a mixed reaction. They have a face-off and a shove-off. Sultan hits the first knockdown with Rocky hopping up. Sultan won't go down from the offense, but he does fall out of the ring. Rocky considers a dive, but doesn't do it, and, for the very first time, what is that I hear?
And no doubt probably a future one as well. Rocky recently in a matchup with Vader where you thought for sure Rocky was going to be intimidated.
The unmistakable sound of Rocky sucks. And it's against the Sultan of all people. Rocky goes into the ring pole, and unfortunately that's pretty much the tale of this entire match. As Sultan works a hold, there's more Rocky sucks chants. This is so random, his recent match against Vader was actually enjoyable. Well, this match is not enjoyable. I was so relieved to see a belly to belly from the Sultan because there's been precious little interest in this one. This match just goes on and on. The Rock's dancing punches are the worst in this entire video. Rocky hits a belly to belly of his own, but it's not over unfortunately. The float of a DDT connects to a mixed reaction. Rocky does the peacock dance and connects with a diving crossbody, but no ref. Rocky argues with the Sheik, but Sultan can't get the jump on him. Sultan does manage to kick him though for a 2. Then the Sultan randomly hits a pile driver for another 2. Sultan tries to finish him, but The Rock goes behind and rolls him up for the 3. The crowd on the whole are pretty happy, or maybe they're just happy that it's over. Ross interviews Rocky, but before he can speak, the Sultan smacks him out and hits him with the belt. Sultan hits a diving splash and the Iron Sheik locks in a camel clutch to completely annihilate Rocky. Rocky is saved by his dad and together they beat up the Geeks. It's over. Nothing about this was as bad as people say, it just wasn't really WrestleMania worthy. And yeah, there were really Rocky sucks chants, but not many. We'll have to see if the hatred grows. It's a D. Match 12, Raw, non-title match, Rocky Maivia versus Leif Cassidy again. The match starts during an advert break, but randomly the first thing we see is The Rock doing a crossbody off the apron onto the ramp. Bret Hart slowly stomps down the ramp. We cut back to the ring to see Al Snow randomly hitting an alley-oop. The camera is on Bret 90% of this match, which is a shame because it seems like they're doing some interesting stuff. The Rock desperately does his belly to belly in the float of a DDT and wins with the crossbody. It's over in 2 minutes, but he got everything in. Bret kills Rocky, but leaves Snow alone as he is also a heel. It's a D because I can't believe that The Rock did a crossbody off the apron. Match 13, Raw main event, IC title match. The challenger is Bret the Hitman Hart. What a strange era of WWF this was, stars briefly crossing over. Rocky faces his toughest challenge to date. Bret has just turned heel, so he spends ages just kind of looking miserable. He eventually starts wrestling, and soon The Rock is the one looking miserable. It's a very slow pace here. The big moves start coming with a Bret Hart back suplex. Rocky spends half this match on his ass, but he does manage a lucky roll-up before being crushed again and hit of a backbreaker. The shitman fart misses a dive, which allows The Rock to start throwing peacock punches and a punch to the gut special. Randomly, Rocky throws Bret with a fisherman suplex for a 2. Rocky keeps going and nails a belly to belly. Bret looks to be in real trouble as The Rock hits a float of a DDT. There are some boos amongst the crowd as The Rock hits the peacock dive. Bret rolls the pin over, but it's just a 2. Hart gets desperate and puts on the figure 4 around the ring post and he refuses to let go, so the ref rings the bell. The Rock is saved from this onslaught by Stone Cold and the Road Warriors. A bit disappointing, but he did use a new move, so it's a D. Match 14, Raw, non-title match, Rocky Maivia versus Savio Vega with Crush. Not sure why The Rock has stopped defending his belt. This match is a great cure for insomnia. The Rock does fail on a monkey flip, which is pretty funny. This match does feature the first ever Rock bottom, so we can't hate on it too much, but it's just a 2 count. The Rock does his DDT into a kip up. The crossbody connects, and I have no idea what this taunt he's doing now is supposed to be. Then Savio Vega rolls up the Rock whilst holding onto his knickers. That's the 3. The Rock is no longer undefeated. Again, it was incredibly slow and just plain weird at times. It's a D. Match 15, In Your House 14, IC title match. Savio Vega with the Nation of Domination versus Rocky Maivia. The match starts whilst The Rock is still wearing his belt. These two are so boring to watch together, and this one's even more irritating because there's people constantly causing distractions at ringside. Savio clips Rocky in the head with a kick. It feels like Rocky will win this one, and he certainly has more control of the match. He manages to hit a couple of belly-to-belly suplexes. It's noticeable that as this video has progressed, he's wrestled less and less like a cruiserweight. Rocky takes a tumble out of the ring where Crush hits him with a heart punch. There's a bit of confusion to the ending as Rocky is counted out, so Vega wins, but he doesn't win the title. The Nation are bad winners, so Rocky gets another beatdown. The crowd barely care about Rocky at this point, but they're not really booing him, they just don't care about the IC champion. Another D. Match 16, Raw, IC title match. The challenger is Owen Hart with the Bulldog and Bret versus the champion Rocky Maivia. Owen tries to deck Rocky with the belt straight away, which fortunately doesn't connect, otherwise he'd have been DQ'd. Rocky hits a dramatic dropkick and the arm drag. What do you guys think of the Rock's dropkick game, by the way, so far? Is it up there or is it down there in the shove it zone? Rocky scores a 2 off a power slam and he stays in control for a while until he's thrown out of the ring and slid away. Owen brings him back to the ring with a missile dropkick. Owen Hart works on his leg for a while, with Rocky getting his occasional lucky pin attempt. He hits a nice float of a DDT and this crowd is still clearly on his side just about. They haven't really turned on him except slightly during the Sultan match. Rocky hits the Rock bottom for a 2. Owen stops his momentum with a heel kick. He takes too long climbing to the top though, and the Rocky is able to stop him and connect with a back suplex. Then out of nowhere, Owen Hart jumps on the Rock's back and rolls him up for the 3. Owen Hart has won the title and the Rock is on a bit of a losing streak. Despite his move range getting better, his connection with the crowd is gone and he's barely even trying now. What happened to the damn peacock dance? It's a C, quite fun match. Match 17, In Your House 15, Mankind versus Rocky Maivia. It's The Rock with a fiery start with a back body drop and a dropkick. Yes, I said The Rock. Ross keeps accidentally calling him that on commentary in this match. Rocky managed to hit a snap slam but misses his elbow drop. Mankind manages to stop his onslaught by sending him from the ring and diving down on top of him. The match hasn't even been going that long and we get a double down off a clothesline. When they get up, The Rock snap mirrors him over the top rope. Rocky tries to demonstrate a new punching combination on the ramp. He's desperate to find something that would work. He comes back at Mankind and nails a Rock bottom on the ramp. Just a 2 back in the ring though. Maivia keeps going for belly to belly for another 2. Pretty cool Northern Lariat from The Rock. I like this match. Rocky manages to hit his shoulder breaker but he doesn't make a cover. Instead he climbs to the top and dives, but his dive is turned into a mandible claw and The Rock passes out. It's over. Quite short, but it was fun. It's a B. Match 18, Raw, Rocky, who doesn't get an entrance. Things feel like they've really gone downhill for him, versus Farouk with the Nation of Domination. Farouk seems like he's motioning for The Rock to join the Nation, but The Rock says no. This isn't a long match, it's mostly smacking. Rocky hits a snap slam before getting a jawbreaker. A dramatic crossbody is just a 2 for Rocky. The Rock bottom is another 2, and the float of a DDT leaves Farouk laying. He takes too long on his dive, and Farouk makes him fall in his nutsack. Short and simple as Farouk beats Rocky with a Dominator. Farouk stops a gang beat down. It's an S, just nothing here from him anymore. They may as well release this Pebble guy, it isn't going anywhere. Match 19, Raw, final match. Flash Funk versus Rocky Maivia. Well, he can't really slip much lower on the card, and I do like Too Cold, but it's just a fact. This match is interrupted by the headbangers, so I was wrong, we can slip lower. We cut back from some strange antics to see Scorpio hits a nice kick. Rocky fights back the Rock bottom for a near fall. The Rock throws a punch, which looks more familiar here, but his dropkick isn't familiar enough and he misses. Funk kicks Rocky, who struggles to fall out of the ring, and he dives down on top of him with Funk barely connecting. It looks like his meathead connected with the ramp. The headbangers attack Rocky and Scorpio on the outside, but Scorpio gets it worse for CD player to the head. Rocky comes back into the ring with a bird dive for the 3. It's another S. This run has hit a brick wall and he looks like a jobber. Game over. So at this point, The Rock is taken off TV for a few weeks before returning as a referee. You know, when I said he couldn't slip much lower on the card, I was wrong. No, in reality, this would be a good thing for Rocky as he helps Farouk to beat Chains. Rocky joins the Nation of Domination, and this was a good decision because people were already indifferent to The Rock, so WWE decided to take that negative energy and shove him heel. He cuts a promo the following week bringing up a Die Rocky Die chant that I honestly didn't hear for this entire video. He tried to be a nice guy, but the fans didn't accept him and said he sucks. This promo is by far the best thing of his entire run at this point. Being a heel just seemed to suit him so much better at this time. It was at this point he became known as The Rock Rocky Maivia before gradually dropping the last bit. Rocky would go on to regain the IC title a couple of months later, replace Farouk as the leader of the Nation of Domination as he rose up the card. That was a lot of fun watching this transitional period of the WWF back in The Rock's career. Many of us won't have seen or remember it. He clearly improved and was trying new things in the ring, but the character work Rocky Maivia was doing was pretty bland. He didn't really have a character past some family related offense and the commentary constantly talking up his family lineage. The stuff about Rocky sucks is definitely overstated. Nothing he did sucked or was bad, he was just a bit bland. He was definitely a victim of being pushed too soon and being forced. His promos sucked too. He just fitted being a heel so much better. Hell, even in his later face run, he had heel elements where he just trash talked people. He just didn't fit the old school babyface narrative. So no, Rocky doesn't suck and he's not going in the zone, but it wasn't good either. So let's shove Rocky a D because I feel like I gave him a lot of D grades in this one. So that's that, and if you don't agree with that, I'll pound you flat.